Tonight, it's Heather Rockstar Furr versus Annie Showtime Erler. Next on LFL Saturday Night Football. You are looking at the birthplace of football, Green Bay, Wisconsin, site of LFL Saturday Night Football. Hello, everybody. This is Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco, and boy, do we have a playoff-like matchup for you tonight. Green Bay versus Chicago, Heather Furr versus Annie Erler. It doesn't get much better than this, Bobby.
Absolutely, Mitch. We have two of the best playmakers in the LFL with Erler and Furr. Annie Erler is the key to Green Bay's #1 ranked offense. She leads the league in touchdown passes and yardage. And rockstar Heather Furr, she's the heart and soul of Chicago Bliss. She can hurt you with her arm and her feet, and she finally has some weapons around her so defenses can't key on her.
And the other storyline of this one have got to be the two head coaches. For Chicago, Keith Hack earlier in the week guaranteeing a win in Green Bay, and obviously that upset Gilbert Brown, the head coach of the Green Bay Chill, and he says if he gets the opportunity to run up the points on this team, he will.
This is exciting. Furr versus Erler and Coach Keith Hack versus Gilbert Brown.
A Midwestern Division clash unlike any other. Kickoff is next. And we are back to the Resch Center, Titletown, USA, for this monster Midwestern matchup as Dominique Collins is deep to receive. Big kick. Ball kind of squibs around. Collins will pick it up and try to return it. Can only get out to the 5 before she is swarmed by Green Bay.
Great play by Green Bay. That's the kind of kickoff you want to have. Put it in the corner. She has trouble picking it up. Solid start for Green Bay. Let's see what Heather Furr can do on offense.
There's a look at Furr. We sat down with her earlier and asked her about the relationship with Erler.
Knowing Annie as well as I do, it makes it a lot more difficult to play against her. We have a close relationship, but when we're on the football field, I don't think about that.
The LFL world is looking forward to seeing Annie Erler go against Heather Furr.
And Chicago will bring it out. 1st and 10, and the crowd is starting to get up for this. Inside handoff to Christelle Harris, met immediately by Hallie Driscoll and Sean Burrow as we meet the Chicago offense.
Nina Fagiano, tight end. Marguerite DiSilvestro, center.
Melissa Olerking, tight end.
Laura Sticks-Peterson, wide receiver.
Allie Alberts, wide receiver. Christelle Harris, running back, Ferrari.
Heather Furr, quarterback.
Mitch, this year Heather Furr has all kind of weapons around her with Allie Alberts and Sticks-Peterson, and of course, Ferrari Harris.
Absolutely, and that has been the big thing in Chicago, having that kind of weaponry around Furr does not allow defenses to ISO on her. Now let's meet the starters for Green Bay.
Jennifer Freund, defensive end. Hallie Driscoll, defensive end. Sean Burrow, linebacker. Anna Hazeman, corner. Cassie Anderson, defensive back. Lourdes Diaz, strong safety.
Ann Erler, free safety.
Now a 3rd and 2 for Heather Furr and company as she drops the pass. Looking down the field, looking for Allie Alberts, and just overshoots her. That has been the combination all year. Furr to Alberts, that is something that Green Bay has been watching film on.
When we spoke to head coach Keith Hack and Heather Furr, they are not intimidated by this defense at all. Of course, Erler, she's a great defensive back, but the rest of the team, they're ranked last in the LFL. They're giving up 199 yards per game.
A critical 4th and 2 for Heather Furr and company from the Chicago 13. They can ill afford to turn this ball over to Erler and crew inside their side of the field. There's Furr breaking it out to midfield, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. She's going to go in. 37 yards for Heather Furr, the playmaker. What a run, Bobby.
Incredible. That's their play. They love to run. The speed option straight down the line. She cuts on the inside shoulder to defensive back right there. Great play. Cuts back across the green. What a run by Heather Furr. What a way to start this game, Mitch.
She just loves to play this game, and you see it in her style and how she attacks that defense. Now the extra point from the 3-yard line. Chicago will go for 2, and that looks to be a false start possibly. We'll await the call. That is exactly it, and Keith Hack not happy about that.
Not happy at all. How many times have we seen that this year? The extra point, teams killing themselves. Now they're back at the 7-yard line going for an extra point.
Absolutely, it has been a momentum killer this year. And there's Furr looking over the middle and just nothing there.
Not a well-designed play at all, Mitch. Heather Furr, she's confused at what Keith Hack called.
Now, wait a minute. It appears we've got a defensive penalty on Green Bay, and that's going to take it back down to the 1-yard line and give Chicago a 3rd attempt at this extra point.
I hope they can get it after 3 tries, don't you, Mitch?
It seems defenses seem to tighten up there on these extra point attempts.
With only 1 yard, you got Ferrari Harris in the backfield. Why not just give it to her?
You would think. Here we go. Extra point attempt. Furr from the shotgun. Looking over the middle. Barely misses Harris. Not very impressive by Chicago at all, as 3 attempts yielded 0 extra points. And now we get our first look at Annie Erler, who we met with earlier today.
Being the underdog at home doesn't really faze us. At this point, we're pretty used to it. We are ready to step on the field and get the respect that we deserve.
Erler definitely playing with a chip on her shoulder, especially all the publicity that Heather Furr's getting. She's having a great year, though. 409 yards passing with 13 touchdowns. Incredible season.
Now 1st and 10 from the 15. Erler trying to break it up the middle. Gets outside. Much like Furr, just simply a playmaker. That went for 17 yards.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the LFL. It's fun to watch both from a run and pass. Annie Erler's got a gun, but she has great wheels, too. She almost broke that. A quarterback draw right up the middle, got 17 yards.
She is playing with a chip on her shoulder. As we know, Coach Keith Hack of Chicago guaranteed a win tonight. There's Erler scrambling, trying to find something. And Yashi Rice chases her down. Rice, the sister of longtime NFL great defensive end Simeon Rice. Now Erler and company face a 2nd and 5 from the Chicago 13. There's a pitch out to Amber. Amber Main, that is, and Main goes for about a 1-yard loss there. This Chicago front line, Bobby, is just swarming right now.
When we spoke to Keith Hack and Heather Furr, they're not impressed with Amber Main at all. They're going to shut her down tonight.
Now let's meet that #1 ranked high-powered Green Bay offense.
Kelly Distra, center. Anna Hazeman, wide receiver.
Amber Main, running back.
Taylor Haywood,
Tight end.
Jessica Payton, wide receiver. Cassie Anderson, wide receiver.
Ann Erler, quarterback.
Wide receiver Anna Hazeman having an incredible year with 9 TDs.
There's the handoff to Amber Main, who goes for about 7 yards there. That should be enough for a Green Bay first down.
I think Amber Main's playing with a chip on her shoulder tonight. After Chicago came out and said they were going to shut her down, she breaks 1 for 7 right there. She's looking good so far, Mitch.
Now time to meet that Chicago defense.
Chantel Taylor, defensive lineman. Gina Fagiano, middle linebacker.
Yashi Rice, D-line.
Laura Dix-Peterson, defensive back.
Kim Perez, cornerback. Ali Albert, safety. Heather Furr, safety.
It's going to be tough for Annie Erler to throw tonight with that secondary of Heather Furr and Allie Alberts back there at safety.
Oh, bad snap there Fortunately enough for Green Bay, it goes directly to Maine. But that will be a loss of 11 yards. You can ill afford to do that against this Chicago Bliss team.
Absolutely. Holly Gistra with a bad snap. She's done that a couple times this year, and it throws off the whole offense. Now Chicago's got them pinned back.
They're pinned back all the way to the 18, and there's a look at Heather Furr's numbers defensively this year. Just doing it on both sides of the ball. Obviously a league MVP type candidate this year.
She's high on that list, Mitch. In fact, she might be my choice the way she plays on both sides of the ball better than anyone in the league.
2nd and goal now. Erler observing the defense, taking a shot, and just overthrew Ann Hazeman. Anna Hazeman is the leading receiver in the LFL this year. As you mentioned earlier, she has 9 scores on the year.
You never see that much. Annie Erler overthrowing Hazeman wide open in the corner on a 7 route. Should have been 6 for Green Bay. Chicago dodged the bullet on that one.
When you get an opportunity like that against a Chicago team, you have got to connect. 3rd and goal now from the 18. Erler again from shotgun, dropping back, trying to create some opening there, and overshoots Hallie Jiskra, the center. Furr loving it. As now Erler and crew face 4th and goal from the 18-yard line.
For such a promising drive, this drive now is going backwards. She was back on her own 20-yard line when she let that ball fly, and it was not even close to being complete.
You got a 4th and 18 play for me there, Bobby?
Absolutely not. I'd punt. Oh, you can't punt this one.
All season long, they have that center release with Hallie Jiskra. That's something to look for here, and there she goes. There's Erler looking for Jiskra. Corner of the end zone. Complete to Hallie Jiskra. 16 yards. Not enough for the score, though, and it'll be a turnover of downs and back to Chicago. Before Chicago gets the ball back, we met with Coach Keith Hack earlier today.
Why did I guarantee the victory? It's really simple. We're the better team. When you watch the films, we're better offensively and defensively than Green Bay. In my opinion, this is a mismatch.
Mitch, Coach Hack, he told me he just simply thinks player for player, they cannot match up with his Chicago Blitz.
Oh, a tough handoff there that could have ended with a safety, but Alberts manages to pull it out to about the 4-yard line.
Chicago got really, really lucky. That should have been a safety. They had her in the end zone. Allie Alberts made a good play just to get some positive yardage past the goal line.
There appears to be an unsportsmanlike call here. That appeared to be some jawing back and forth at the end of that play, and that was offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct. It will keep the ball at the 6-yard line. 2nd and 6, Chicago. Furr with a design draw play, trying to get outside. Cannot get outside. Tackled for no gain on that play.
She had some daylight outside on the quarterback draw. She tripped. It looked like the turf monster might have tripped her, the AstroTurf. She had some daylight, couldn't get there on the corner.
Hack a little upset about that. He saw a seam just like everybody else did. Furr just simply could not get to the outside.
This is a key series for the Green Bay defense. Here they are, the worst defense in the league, but somehow if they can pin Chicago back, this will be huge for Gilbert Brown's team.
3rd and 6 now. Furr with a bad snap, looking to throw over the middle. Dangerous play there as the pass falls incomplete. That could have easily gone the other way.
Keith Hack is so upset right now. A bad snap. Heather Furr picked it up, and then she threw a bad ball that should have been picked off by Green Bay. It could have been a huge turnover, but Chicago got lucky again.
We are winding down the first quarter of play here. As Chicago comes to the line, they probably will not get this play off. And we are at the end of one with Chicago up 6-0 on this amazing 37-yard TD run by Furr. Back to the Resch Center just outside of Lambeau Field as Heather Furr and company go back to work. Inside handoff, no, misdirection handoff. That went to Allie Alberts, the incredible rookie who rushed for about 8 yards on that one.
Allie Alberts, she can fly, Mitch. A little end around right there. Keith Hack, is he ever happy? He is yelling at everything tonight.
I think he may be upset. There might be a holding call. That is what it is. It'll be fourth down once again, 4th and 6. After that penalty, key penalty there on Chicago.
Keith Hack, he cannot stand the officials right now. He said you have to call it both ways. He's saying they're only calling against Chicago, and Green Bay's doing the same thing.
Another shotgun snap for Erler. Erler in the back of the end zone, taking a shot way outside. That pass falls incomplete to Allie Alberts.
Actually, Alberts was open right there. Heather Furr overthrew her. It was a 7 route on the backside. She used her eyes, moved to secondary, but she couldn't deliver the ball.
This is crucial if they're going to keep this game close, Green Bay, as they have 1st and goal now from the Chicago 4. Pitch out to Amber Main. Wow. That safety came up. That would be Dina Fagiano, and just laid the wood on Amber Main.
Dina Fagiano, Coach Hack told us she is going to be a star in this league. That's the way you're supposed to come up from safety. As soon as you read run, you come up and attack. Great play by Fagiano.
Not having that size or speed really hurts Amber Main. That has been the one criticism. Great passing game here in Green Bay. Absolutely no rushing attack. 2nd and goal. Another shotgun. Erler dancing around, trying to find an open and cutting inside. He ran for about 99 yards and gained 1.
Keith Hack still upset. Watch this play by Andy Erler, though. She has no time back there. She reverses out. She looks like she has the outside. She does. She gets outside, almost to the end zone. Again, the safety's coming up to make a key stop for Chicago.
Now 3rd and goal. The Chicago defense is really tightening up. Coming into this game, they were ranked number 5 in the league. There's Erler with the shotgun snap, trying to evade the rush. Gets to the outside. He's going to take a shot to the back of the end zone. That was intended for Anna Hazeman.
A rare drop by Hazeman. She was open in the end zone. The ball hit her in the hand. Somehow, Annie Erler scrambling around, found her open in the end zone. She just dropped the ball. Should have been caught.
4 attempts now coming up for Green Bay from the 5-yard line. This will be a pivotal point if they cannot score on this series.
They had such a short field after the change of possession. This is key for Erler to get in.
4th and goal as Erler looks over the middle to Anna Hazeman. Bobby, not sure she would have made it in even if she caught that ball.
Not at all. In fact, Erler delivered the ball late. It was a quick post. She waited till she got right at where the linebacker and safeties were. She had an opening before that, but it was delivered way too late.
That has got to be frustrating. How you have 5 yards to pay dirt, 4 attempts at it, and can't get there.
That points to the lack of a running game. Annie Erler is the only thing they have in the backfield can run, but they didn't try one run there.
Now Heather Furr and company, 1st and 10. Inside handoff to Christelle Harris. There goes the Ferrari. And if it were not for a leg whip, she could have gone the distance on that one.
An illegal leg whip. That is uncalled for. A trip, really, is what it is. Watch this. She breaks free. She breaks to the outside. Looks like she's going to be gone. But a trip there by Annie Erler. She should have been flagged for that one, Mitch.
Check that. I said Sean Burrow. That was Annie Erler. You don't expect that from Erler.
Really uncalled for by Annie Erler, the trip. That's not good at all, Mitch.
That carry took it all the way out to the Chicago 23, where it will be 1st and 10. Furr pitch out play to Christelle Harris again. Harris very patient with that blocking, waiting for it to develop. Just a pure runner. And she runs for about 8 on that one.
That's why she is the league's leading rusher right there. Like you mentioned, watch her follow the blocks. This is what great backs do. She waits for the block. She's got to tuck the ball. She gets 7 yards down the field because of great stalk blocking.
That has been the one criticism of Christelle Harris, is her ball handling technique, which has led to a number of crucial turnovers, namely that one against LA earlier in the season. Now 2nd and 2, Furr inside handoff to Christelle Harris. Goes up the middle, and those legs keep churning.
Great blocking at the point of attack by Di Silvestro, the center, controlling the line of scrimmage. And Harris is finding holes straight up the gut on Green Bay.
That was good enough for a Chicago 1st down, and they keep moving the chains, and that is what a good team does and eats at that clock.
Like Coach Hack told us before the game, he thinks that his players are just bigger and stronger than Green Bay. He's doing basic football, going right at them, and it's working.
Ball's all the way down to the Green Bay 11 now. Misdirectional handoff. No, her Furr's going to keep it. She's going to cut inside. And that was a good rush. Went for about 9 yards for Heather Furr.
Green Bay came with a full blitz, a jailhouse blitz going, but they had misdirection in the back there. A lot of players went for the running back. Watch this, and Furr takes off around the outside. Watch the players, Green Bay go right. Furr takes it around the corner, gets outside. Good play by Heather Furr.
That was a bit of that pistol offense that we're seeing becoming very popular in the NFL. And definitely when you have a quarterback like Furr that can beat you with her arm or her legs, it definitely opens it up to that pistol offense having some success.
Keith Hack put that pistol in, and I love it.
There's the direct snap to Christelle Harris, no defense, and Harris goes in easily for the 2-yard score, putting up Chicago 12-0.
Direct snap, Harris takes it in, great blocking, absolutely no penetration by Green Bay up front.
Still a little bit of talking after the fact. That's Laura Gela-Diaz, who used to be on the Chicago roster, and a bit of animosity there.
Frenchie's her nickname.
Indeed, that call goes against Gillis-Diaz. A costly penalty. And now Chicago will line up for the extra point. They're going to go for 2 points on this.
Mitch, there's another player, Gillis-Diaz, who's playing with a chip on her shoulder. A lot of players are talking trash about her from Chicago all week long.
There's another direct handoff or snap to Christelle Harris. There is absolutely no opposition from that Green Bay defense.
No, Keith Hack, he studied this team, and that's what he told us. There's nothing up front. They have no power on the defensive line, and they are right now girl handling everything that Green Bay's trying to do defensively.
Very impressive, Bobby. Girl handling. Thought you were going to go for the manhandling on that one. As Annie Erler returns to work. 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 15. There's a handoff. That one goes to Anna Haseman. Haseman goes for about 5 yards on that one.
Mitch, to have any shot tonight, it looks like it's going to come down to Annie Erler's arm. This running game is going nowhere for Green Bay. They need points quick, or this might be a blowout by Chicago. They have to come up with something right now on this drive.
And we are officially at the 2-minute warning. And after 14 minutes of play, Chicago mightily ahead 12-0. 2nd and 5, and there's a look at the Green Bay faithful. And another look at Hack there, on the verge of a heart attack at any point.
I don't know who's better looking, the Green Bay faithful or Keith Hack.
I'm sure Coach Hack will love hearing that. It's a fun atmosphere in here, Bobby. I got in here earlier this week, got a chance to run the stairs at Lambeau Field. Just an amazing atmosphere in Titletown.
Titletown, football is what it's about.
2nd and 5 here. Ann Erler trying to take a shot down the field and finds, looks like Haseman, but Haseman drops that pass. They are just not connecting, whether it's Erler overthrowing open receivers or open receivers not catching Erler's passes. It's just not there tonight.
You never see this. I mean, this is a game that could put Green Bay in the playoffs. Anna Haseman with another drop, a great throw again by Annie Erler.
3rd and 5 now. Quick slant to Jessica Payton. That goes for 7, and little signs of life for Green Bay.
Mitch, that's how you throw a slant pattern. Against a cover 2, she gets inside the corners, and bam! Annie Erler puts it right on her. Great throw.
1st and 10 from the Green Bay 20. Erler drops, looking over the middle again. Finds her target, Anna Haseman, the #1 receiver in the LFL.
Mitch, as bad as we said the Green Bay defensive line is playing so far tonight, their offensive line is playing incredible. They're giving Annie Erler all kinds of time to throw the ball down the field.
Erler is definitely finding some great passing lanes, especially over the middle here. 2nd and 2. Another pass coming from Erler. Studying the defense all kinds of time. And that could have, Allie Alberts could have stepped in front of that one.
Allie Alberts having a great year, 11 tackles, 9 solos, but she had a drop interception right there. That could have been a pick 6. Allie Alberts, a receiver, a great receiver in her own right, just dropped the ball. Should have been picked.
3rd and 2 now with about 50 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Erler going to take a shot down the middle. Jessica Payton. Payton in the back of the end zone goes for 6, and that is what Green Bay needed all along. Huge pass and catch for 22 yards to Payton.
That's why they're the #1 passing team in the LFL. Great protection again. A 9 route on the right side. Payton gets deep. A perfect pass by Annie Erler. I love watching this offense when they're clicking, Mitch.
Now the extra point attempt from the 3. There's a corner of the end zone. Misses her target. And once again, Bobby, a failed extra point attempt.
John Burrow should have had that ball at the tight end position doing an out route. She was open. Erler put it on her. She just dropped the ball.
Offsides on Chicago, and that will give Green Bay another shot at it here from the 1-yard line. Now, this is what I have a problem with, Bobby. You're in shotgun from the 1-yard line, and that's what happens. You have to develop some kind of a run game, and Yashi Rice there off that edge has been incredible this year. There's a look at head coach Gilbert Brown, who's also the offensive coordinator for this Green Bay team. And you've got to be somewhat critical of that attack. Here's Heather Furr going back to work. 1st and 10 from the 15. Fakes the pass. Little shovel pass. That goes incomplete to Christelle Harris.
Great play selection by Keith Hack. They fake the quick screen. Shovel pass underneath to Harris. She just drops the ball. That's a forward pass. That's not a fumble, but it was a great play. Harris just took her eyes off the ball.
Crowd starting to get into this a little bit. 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap to Furr. Furr looking down the field, taking a shot. Just misses her target. Christelle Harris got behind the defense there. And Ann Erler came over at the very last second.
Mitch, you know that she's a great quarterback, but look at these stats on defense. 11 tackles, 10 solos, 2 assists, and 1 interception. Just an outstanding defensive back and a great play right there.
A carbon copy of Heather Furr, who does much of the same at safety. Some can argue that Erler is the better coverage safety. As we look at 3rd and 10 for Heather Furr. There's the inside handoff to Christelle Harris. And for a change, Green Bay's defense wants to play defense.
I don't know about that call, Mitch. 3rd and 10. They tried a trap play, but the defense was all over it. Nobody blocked the linebacker. Safety was there. It should have been a pass play by Heather Furr. She can throw the ball, but they elected to run it.
Now under 30 seconds left in the first half. It will come down to this 4th and 8 play for Chicago. Deep in their side of the field at the 17. There's a look at Hallie Jiskra, who's having a Rookie of the Year type season. Here comes Heather Furr. Shotgun snap to Furr, dancing around back in the pocket, trying to elude the rush, just gets the ball off. Heavy pressure by Amber McClellan and Hallie Jiskra.
That was a secondary sack, Mitch. Great coverage, nobody open. Heather Furr had all kinds of time to throw. She couldn't find anybody. A secondary sack by Green Bay.
Now this Green Bay offense with another critical opportunity with very little time left in the first half.
Annie Erler's got a short field, Mitch.
There's the snap to Erler, looking over the middle. Nobody there. I believe that was attempted to Hallie Jiskra.
Heather Furr almost came out with a pick there. They came with a safety blitz. Annie Erler had to hurry her throw, and Furr almost picked it off out there.
Green Bay will probably have about 2 more shots at the end zone here. 2nd and 10. Erler looking into that end zone. Now just going to tuck it and run. Gets to the boards to stop the clock at least. Goes for about 5 yards on that one.
Annie Erler could not find anybody open. She turned on the Jets, tried to score on her own. Now we're down to 2 seconds. Let's see if she can pull it off, Mitch.
3rd and 5. Ball's at the Chicago 12 now. It looks to be a false start penalty here. Heather Furr agrees. That'll make it 3rd and 10 and back it up to the 17.
Could be time for a little Hail Mary right here. Maybe throw it up to Hazeman, see if she can get it.
Inside handoff fake by Erler, looking into the back of the end zone, trying to find anybody, finds Rumsey. Ashley Rumsey goes for about 8, but that will run out the clock. And we are officially at halftime in Green Bay, with Chicago leading 13-6. And Green Bay at least staying within earshot when Erler found Peyton here. 13-6, back with halftime. Back to Titletown here, Green Bay, Wisconsin, as Chicago leads 13-6 at halftime. Bobby, with this kind of firepower on offense and both defenses struggling this season, we expected a lot more scoring and didn't get it in the first half.
Absolutely. Both quarterbacks, Annie Erler and Heather Furr, has been held in check. Although Erler, towards the end of the first half, she finished with 28 yards on the ground, and she connected with Jessica Payton on a 22-yard touchdown pass. For rock star Heather Furr, she's averaging an incredible 15 yards per carry, thanks to a 37-yard run to put Chicago up 6-0.
Down to one half of football. It is Green Bay versus Chicago, the Midwestern Division title, and a playoff berth on the line. Second half kickoff after this. Back to Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the home team is behind 13-6. Bobby, what about our quarterbacks?
Both quarterbacks doing it on the ground. Furr, 15.3-yard average. She broke the long one for 37 yards. Erler, 7-yard average. She had a long one of 17 yards.
Definitely exciting play from our two big playmakers, Furr and Erler. And we are getting set to get underway. Green Bay back to receive this one. There's the kickoff, goes out of bounds. Annie Erler and crew will take over from the 15.
Mitch, this game is as advertised. Furr versus Erler. They're both playing great.
This should make a very interesting second half. This offense is very capable of making up this small gap, obviously, as the #1 ranked offense. Erler has thrown for an amazing 16 scores on the year already. And now she goes back to work. Inside handoff. That one goes to Rumsey. Rumsey goes for about 3 yards. Dina Fagiano on the stop.
With our conversation we had with head coach Keith Hack, he didn't think this game was going to be that close. I'm sure he's surprised that Green Bay's in it and they can tie it up with a score here.
2nd and 7. Another inside tackle type handoff. This one goes to Hallie Driskra. And that goes for about 3 yards. They just don't have the athletes for an effective running game.
Absolutely not. And you know what, Mitch? For next season, I know they're worried about this year making the playoffs, but for next season, Gilbert Brown has to go out and recruit a top-notch running back, the likes of Harris on the other side of the ball.
Harris is tough to find. If you find somebody half as good, it's a massive improvement over this lineup.
Can you imagine this offense with a stud running back?
It would be officially complete. 3rd and 4. Misdirection handoff. And there goes Peyton. Jessica Peyton for about 6 yards there. Laura Peterson comes up from that safety position.
Keith Hack is going wild. He thought that was an illegal formation. He's yelling at the referees. He's not happy at all with the Zebras tonight, Mitch.
That Peyton run gave Erler a first down. They're out to the Chicago 23 now. Here's the 1st and down play. Another handoff, this one to Amber Main. That is their starting running back, but you would not know it from her performance.
Not at all. They're trying to cross-buck action in the backfield, trying to get Chicago on their heels.
Compound matters. We've got a full start on Green Bay. That will back them up. It'll be 1st and 15 from the Green Bay 22 now.
They're going to have to put it up. The only way this offense moves is when Erler throws the ball down the field. The running game is doing absolutely nothing.
There's another handoff. This one goes to Jessica Payton again for about 3 yards. And there's just simply nothing there. This time Heather Furr comes up.
They keep trying to misdirection the cross-buck action. to keep the defense on their heels, but it's not working. They have to throw the football to have any success or any chance of winning tonight.
To your point, they are bringing up those safeties and daring Ann Erler to beat them over the top. This run game will not beat Chicago tonight. 2nd and 12. Shotgun snap to Erler. Erler looking down the field, pocket breaking down. She cuts it outside. She could go. Almost breaks it. Her best friend Heather Furr comes up with a complimentary elbow, escorting her out of bounds.
He's holding a rib. Watch this run, though. Nobody open. Watch the moves. Watch the cut. Outside. Watch inside. Juke outside on the wall. She gets hit right in her rib. Wow. Runs into the yard marker, too. I hope she's okay.
That went for 12 yards for Erler. And that's what she can do when the play breaks down. Her and Furr there are the best at making something happen. 1st and 10 from the Chicago 13. Big drive. Erler looking to the back of the end zone again. Dumps it off to Jessica Payton. Payton becoming her go-to receiver tonight. Payton coming off a tough season with multiple key drops throughout the year. Rebounding in this game.
Annie Erler, there's nobody that moves in the pocket better than her. She feels her line, she feels where the opening are, and she waits and waits and waits, and then tucks the ball outside underneath in the flat to a receiver. Payton made a great catch. Great play by Annie Erler.
Outside. Hey, watch for Bliss.
Now 2nd and 5. Annie Erler in the shotgun once again. Looking over the middle. Intercepted by Heather Furr. Heather Furr stepping in front of that Ann Erler pass. You got to wonder where Erler was looking on that one.
Got to hand it to Heather Furr. She usually plays a little bit deeper. She's playing actually like an inside linebacker. Reads the quick slant, a one-handed catch. What a read by Heather Furr, and a bad pass, the first one of the night by Annie Erler.
That was the one concern that Gilbert Brown had, was Heather Furr in the secondary. She is easily the best safety in this league. And she came up big there when her team needed it. 13-6 now. Chicago back to work. There's a little pitch out to Christelle Harris, breaking through the 1st and 2nd layer of that Green Bay defense, and manages about 12 yards and another key 1st down for this Chicago offense.
This is old-time football. Watch the lead blocker. It's Heather Furr. She pitches the ball, then leads down the field for Harris. I haven't seen that play in 45 years.
Bobby Huco dating himself a little bit there. 1st and 10, Green Bay 19. Motion offense, pitch out to Harris. Harris going to the strong side. Hey, she's just averaging 8, 9, 10 yards a carry.
Every time she touches the ball, it's instant offense. 8 attempts, 50 yards, 1 touchdown, 6.25 average. Incredible. That's what you need in your backfield. Green Bay needs something like that to help out Annie Erler.
This number 12th ranked defense has got to step up here as Chicago looks to take a commanding lead, already up 13-6.
Mitch, it's amazing. We haven't seen Heather Furr complete 1 pass tonight. Unbelievable. She was the league's leading passer and nothing tonight.
Haven't needed it. 1st and goal. Looking over the middle to Allie Alberts. Alberts snags it out of the top and almost goes for a score. Gets down to about the 1. That was a nice 8-yard pass and catch.
Alberts having a great year. 8 receptions, 105 yards, 25 long, and she's just killing it tonight.
She has become the go-to threat on the outside alongside Laura Peterson for one Miss Heather Furr. Now 2nd and goal. Heather Furr coming up to the line from the Green Bay 1. Quick snap to Furr, and Furr just walks it in. That will put Chicago up 19-6 in this one.
Mitch, this is how you run a quarterback sneak. You take the ball, you look for the hole in the defensive line. A lot of quarterbacks go right over the center. Furr saw the hole to the right, walked into the end zone. It seems basic, but it takes a lot of skill to run a successful quarterback sneak.
Now the extra point attempt, direct snap to Christelle Harris. Christelle jumping over the top and converting. Now 20-6.
Mitch, the better team is winning tonight. Again, absolutely no penetration at all by the cornerbacks and defensive ends. Harris walks into the end zone.
That is the difference between having a running game and not having a running game. Every opportunity Chicago gets in the red zone, they convert. And that's because you've got a Ferrari sitting in the garage.
This is almost a must situation for Annie Erler. She has to get points on the board. If they don't convert here and let Chicago go up by 3, this game's going to be over.
Fake inside handoffs, misdirection, quick pitch out. This one goes to Rumsey. Rumsey, the second-year veteran, played on this Green Bay Chill squad last year.
Heather Furr, watch the read here. Misdirection, across the middle, Rumsey out in the flat, and Heather Furr makes Rumsey look clumsy.
Now we've got 2nd and 5. From the Green Bay 20, Ann Erler observing that Chicago defense. We got a stoppage of play here. Is there a penalty? They were just resetting the clock, and we're back at it. 2nd and 5, Erler looking over the middle. Finds Anna Hazeman. Hazeman goes for about 8 on that one, all the way to the Chicago 22.
That connection, they needed to connect more to that. Hazeman, look at her numbers this year. 14 receptions, 198 yards, 14-yard average, and 7 touchdowns. A great year, but she needs to play big here in the second half. Great delivery right there by Annie Erler.
Erler continuing to move the sticks, now 1st and 10 at the Chicago 22. Erler back in the shotgun, taking another shot down the field. Simply overthrew Ashley Rumsey.
Rumsey was open, but Rice came in with a strong outside rush and hurried Erler. The ball was just not thrown correctly.
There's a look at Furr. Don't think she doesn't want this one badly, being up against her nemesis, Ann Erler.
They really think, Mitch, this is their year. After talking to Coach Hack and Furr, they think they can go all the way.
Definitely have the horses for it. 2nd and 10. That looks to be maybe a false start by Green Bay. That will back them up.
Annie Erler, a rare mistake right there. False start, they called it on the quarterback. She has to come up with something. They have to put points on the board.
This will be our last play of the 3rd quarter. They won't get it off. That is 3 quarters of action in the books, and Chicago has a commanding 20-6 lead. Erler trying to get back on track. Back to the 4th quarter in Titletown. There's a look at Heather Furr, and we've got her mic'd up tonight.
I seen you.
Okay,
don't do it
got
again.
It. Please not have her headbutt my player. Thanks. Hey, fat fuck, get in the gym. You smell like shit. Did you shit your pants? Did you shit your pants?
Heather Furr is not scared to talk trash to anybody, including the referee. Wow, how about those comments?
Unbelievable. 2nd and 15, guys. Nice little outplay there. That went to Amber Main for about 8 yards, or was that Anna Hazeman? I believe that was Hazeman. Kim Perez on the stop.
Hazeman is starting to pick up her game after some early drops. A great throw here by Erler. Great catch on the sideline, on the wall. They need to continue doing that tonight against Heather Furr to have any success. They need to score here. They're down 2 scores, Mitch.
3rd and 7 now on the side, the Chicago 19. A lot of misdirection with this offense. Going back over the middle, and another drop, this one by Amber Main.
That's got to be the 4th or 5th drop tonight by Green Bay. Great play action, good time. She's looking all over the field. Somehow finds Main wide open, and Main could have walked in the end zone, but she just dropped the ball.
Now a key 4th and 7 with under 8 minutes. The final act of this game. Keeping in mind the winner of this one takes the Midwestern Division and a playoff berth. Erler back in the shotgun. Observing over the middle. Finds Anna Hazeman. Hazeman walks in. What a pitch and catch by Erler to Hazeman.
Great route by Hazeman. A lot of time back there for Annie Erler. She came all the way across the field to confuse the secondary. There was no safety back there. Great play by Green Bay. Gets them back in the ball game. Here we go. We got a barn burner now.
Starting to sound a little like Lambeau in here. As Erler lines up for the extra point attempt. This will be a 2-point attempt for Green Bay. Over the middle. That'll be intercepted. Obviously, you cannot return an extra point, but talk about momentum killers when you can't convert those. And for Chicago, despite being up 20-12 in this one, Coach Hack is not happy. We had him mic'd up all night.
Are you kidding me? Do you know what this is? Are you know what this is? Fucking clown. Hey, you better call that both ways. You better call it both ways. You better call it both ways. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's a fucking bunch of wait. Number 7 is hitting every fucking time. Are you serious, Roger? Roger, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's a fucking clown show. Just do whatever the fuck you want. Fuck the rules.
Wow, Keith Hack is not happy with the referees tonight. You think he's a little upset, Mitch?
I would say so. Especially now he knows this is down to a single score game, 12-20.
Wow, I've never seen a coach get that excited and upset with the Zebras.
Burr back to pass. Heavy rush. Is going to take it herself, going on the left side. Now cuts back in. Nothing doing as her good friend Ann Erler comes up.
Green Bay's defense, they just don't have good tackling technique. This should have been a sack. It should have been a 6-yard loss. They come in arm tackling, don't wrap up, and Heather Furr makes a positive gain out of it.
That Furr run ran for about 5 yards. There, Erler having some equipment difficulty. Curious to see if Chicago takes advantage of her not being on the field here. 2nd and 5. There's another handoff to Harris. Harris grinding out the yards. That should be enough to move the sticks. Harris went for about 5 on that one.
Mitch, the defense was there. They had the linebackers up. They had the people in the gaps, but they're just not as talented as the Chicago Bliss, and that should have been a stop for nothing, and Harris got 5.
And this is your prototypical playoff-type team. A strong defense, great running game, and a solid passing game. You add a playmaker like Heather Furr to that mix, and LA and the likes are taking notice. 1st and 10. There's a quarterback keeper, or no, that was a handoff to Christelle Harris, and Harris goes for about 9. Sean Burrow on the stop.
That's the same play they used earlier where they pitch it to Harris and then Furr becomes a lead blocker. But you're right, they're just pounding it down the field. They do need an insurance touchdown. This is the only 1-score game right now, Mitch.
Plenty of time left, especially with the league's #1 offense awaiting in the wings. Now a short 2nd and 1, a very manageable 2nd and 1 for this offense. And if it ain't broke, why fix it? I say you keep this on the ground with Harris. And there it is, pitch out. Harris could go. Had a moment of opening there. Ended up going for about 12 down to the Green Bay 16.
Great outside block by Allie Albert. She held on to the corner, then pushed her out to the wall. Harris cut it up. This is a prototype, typical classic drive by Chicago. They're burning the clock and moving the chains.
Absolutely, and that sets them up for a 1st and goal at the Green Bay 4. This is a crucial score because, as you said earlier, this is only a 1-score game at this point. Direct snap to Christelle Harris, trying to get on the outside, lunges forward, and gets in for the score. Huge score for Chicago to take that 26-12 lead.
This is why she is the #1 back in the LFL. There's nothing there. There's no holes. She makes herself skinny, dives over, and gets the ball to break the plane. Andy Erler right now, it's now or never for Green Bay, and her, the #1 passer in the league.
They will still have to go to work here to defend against the extra point, or they get the opportunity to get out there and put some points on the board. There's Heather Furr observing that clock, watching it click down.
What a veteran she is. Watching a 35-second clock.
And more importantly, the game clock. Oh, Furr tried to run that in on the outside. Great open field tackle by Cassie Anderson. There looks to be a penalty, though. I think Green Bay jumped on this, Bobby.
Yeah, they're going to get another shot. They did jump. It's going to take it down to the 1. Probably a great time to give it to Harris in the backfield. All you need is 1 yard.
The bad news for Chicago is that penalty does not stop the clock. As we all know, we don't have stoppage rules till we get to the 2-minute warning. That could be big in this game. Now from the Green Bay 1, Furr just takes it in real easily.
Takes it in too easily. Again, a quarterback sneak. The nose guard didn't even look where Heather Furr was, and Heather Furr walked right by her.
Now 27-12, and is it time to hit the panic button, Bobby?
Absolutely is. Gilbert Brown's season might be over right now. Less than 3 minutes left. He's got the #1 passer in the league. You got to let it air it out. #1 receiver, Haseman too. It's time to do it.
That's what they're doing. And Erler just overshoots Amber Main. This is not the Annie Erler we've seen all year. Catching a little bit of a break there with the Chicago offsides.
The clock's still running. They have to have a little bit more urgency right now. They need 2 scores, and it's almost down to 2 minutes. They have to pick it up.
Erler with the deep drop. Looks to Amber Main, finds Amber Main, and Main cuts it inside, can't get away from the defense, but does manage a 12-yard pickup.
The safeties, Allie Alberts and Heather Furr, are playing way deep. They're not letting Haseman go deep. Keith Hack, it's almost like a prevent defense. They'll take those little short passes all night long. They'll give them 5-10 yards, but they don't want to give the big one up.
And that should take us to the 2-minute warning here in Titletown. A big Midwestern Division battle. And here, Christelle Harris puts Chicago up. As we return to action with just 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, it is Green Bay 1st and 10 from the Chicago 23. Faking the handoff, Erler. Looking down the field, had a receiver, just laid that ball up too high for Hallie Jiskra, and just underthrew her, Bobby.
Mitch, you're right. This is not the Annie Erler we know and love. Wide open in the end zone, just where the center went on a corner pattern. Nobody had her. That could have been huge. You could have got it with one score with 1:53 left, but she couldn't pull the trigger and put the ball in the money.
The receivers are there. They're just not connecting tonight. 2nd and 10 now. Erler back to pass, going underneath. And that's good enough for 8 to Ashley Rumsey. She's been a good check down for Erler all night.
That's right, a great check down. But again, it takes a lot of time off the clock, and it's under the safeties. All Chicago's trying to do is keep the ball underneath, and the clock's going to keep running.
Don't expect Chicago to be beat over the top here. 3rd and 2, Erler. Faking the handoff, going to take another shot into the end zone. That's a pass and catch to Haseman. Haseman on the score. Exactly what Chicago could not afford to give up happens.
Sensational catch by Haseman. How did she come down with this? Looked like it was double coverage. Play action pass. Erler's got time. Going deep in the right corner. It looks like Furr's going to be there. She gets smacked, but somehow Haseman comes down with the ball. Wow.
And now, Bobby, the all-important 2-point conversion. If Ann Erler and crew convert here, they make it a 1-score game. There's the snap, and the pocket just collapsing around Erler. Nowhere to go. And that maintains it a 2-possession game. That was huge, Bobby.
That was Green Bay's season right there. No playoffs this year. Nobody blocked Heather Furr. I don't know why. She went directly to Annie Erler, sacked her, and that should be the season.
That is a big stop with a little over a minute left. 4 plays at the disposal of Chicago. They can simply take a knee and run this one out. Here's another look at that pass to Anna Haseman that brought Green Bay within striking distance. Back to Titletown with a little over a minute left. Green Bay being out of options, and now the onside kick.
Chicago brought on their hands team. Let's see if they can get the ball.
A lot of games have come down to these onside kicks, and Ann Erler now will have the kicking duties. Nice little hop kick, but it lands right in Chicago's hands. And that should do it. As Heather Furr, Christelle Harris, Allie Alberts all return. All that's left now is a few victory pose kneel downs.
Now, if they can run the clock out, this sets up a huge game against the defending champs, LA, right?
Absolutely. We will be at the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates, home to the Chicago Bliss, on Saturday, August 17th, as Ashley Salerno, Agam Chichindu, and the three-time champions will be in town.
Coach Hack and Heather Furr have been waiting a year for this game. They talked about Los Angeles all year long. They're finally going to have the chance.
Now Green Bay taking that timeout, really academic at this point. With 35-second play clocks, all Chicago has to do is pretty much take a couple knees here.
This sets up a huge game against Los Angeles. They've been waiting all year for this opportunity. They're going to get it.
And there's the kneel down, absolutely, Bobby Huco. We will be at the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates next Saturday, August 17th, as these Chicago Bliss, in essence, will have a home playoff game against the three-time champion Los Angeles Temptation. Isn't that going to be a treat for us all?
It's going to be an outstanding contest. Who do you think is going to win it? You think Heather Furr can finally pull it off and beat LA?
It has been a long time coming. Obviously, LA has had an incredible run here. It's going to make for a tremendous showdown for that first-round playoff game. And what about this Green Bay team? Certainly huge improvement from the first year. Just not enough. We talked about the running game there. Gilbert Brown there, a prominent defensive figure with the Green Bay Packers for many years, but here, ironically enough, the worst defense in the league. That certainly hurt him this year.
Defenses wins championships, and Green Bay just doesn't have it. They're dead last, and it shows. Chicago ran all over them tonight. There was no pass rush. If they can somehow get some players on defense, this could be a contending team next year.
And all that's left is one more kneel down or a pitch out to Christelle Harris. Harris takes it on the outside for about 10 yards, and that will do it. The Chicago Bliss are your 2013 Midwestern Division champs, and now they're headed back home to the Sears Center to take on the Los Angeles Temptation next Saturday night.
What a season for Heather Furr. She has MVP-type numbers. Her, Harris, Allie Alberts, and Sticks Peterson. What an offense going into that Los Angeles game.
Absolutely, and this game really lived up to the billing. Had Green Bay had a run game, I think we would have been a little closer. But as it stands, we are looking at the Midwestern Division champs. So for Bobby Huco, I am Mitch Mortaza, thanking our director, Patrick Rulig, our producer, Gino Payne, and we will see you in 7 days at the Sears Center in Chicago. Good night.